Wonder Woman 789. Better late than never, as they say. I completely let this book slip through my radar. I apologize to anybody who is completely invested in this book. Should I apologize? Because I feel like this book is going to be very divisive for some people. Because, yeah, it's definitely an approach to the character that I agree with. It's doing something I wholeheartedly support. That is making a bunch of men hate the idea of Wonder Woman because an impotent little shrimp is telling them otherwise. He's putting something in the milk they're drinking to make them think things stupidly. I love it. It's stupid and fun. The incel army against Wonder Woman. It's a good idea for a story, and it's working. It's a creative book that's taking some chances that I am a fan of. Not a lot goes on in this issue, sadly. It's just pretty much just like, we're going to do the fight leading to the big thing where Wonder Woman's going to have to save her friends. That's it. But we see a 50-foot Cisco is just walking through the streets, just doing some crazy stuff. Psycho is being a dumbass. Wonder Woman tries to punch him, goes through him, and that's when she learns that Dolos, the what did they call him? He had some stupid name. The Duke of Deception is working with Dr. Psycho. And he's using the forces of evil at his side, so Psycho gets his army of incel men to yell at Wonder Woman, tell her to go back to her home island. And everything's going bad. And we see inside of another van nearby that Siggy and Steve, the cutest boyfriends for Wonder Woman to never touch again. That was a weird way to put it. They're great together. They should be together instead of with Diana. I love it. They are just watching by the sidelines as Etta is analyzing some of the milk, and she tells us there's something in the milk, but suddenly they are hit by a truck-driving, milk-drinking son of a gun. Their van topples over, and Steve might have a broken leg, so Siggy has to protect him as he fights off the evils of these incel milkmen. I love it. And as they're in the midst of the fight, Dr. Poison shows up and dumps some chemicals on them and knocks them out. Oh, it's good. It's good stuff. Because, this plan was really thought out. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get to it. And we see that the calculator or calculus or something, Professor Calculus, shows up to find Etta, takes her down. Oh, the whole team's falling apart. But we see inside Dr. Psycho's townhouse that his sweetheart, his weird porcelain doll Wonder Woman shattered glass lady, is having doubts about working with him. I love that, but he's like, Toots, you look a lot like her, but she ain't her. You're my little plaything. Get used to it, dollface. That's all he's saying. I love it, but she is just so willing to go against this guy, and she wants to, but she doesn't know how. Because, I don't understand. It's gotta be the Harley Quinn show, right? The Harley Quinn show has to be the reason we're allowed to use Dr. Psycho again, because they turned him into such a funny joke that the comics were like, yeah, do something with him. Because this character could be used properly when he's the worst person in the world. I really dig that. And Dolos and Wonder Woman just get into their fight, and he's like, these men don't want your protection, so maybe you should just, let them die. Who gives a shit? She's like, no, I'm here to protect people, even if they don't want my approval and I don't need theirs. I will protect them with my life. And their fight just keeps lashing out, and she's keeping them safe from Dolos. Everything is going to plan for the Duke of Deception, I guess, because it's more like a distraction, so we can see Sweetheart bring the orb along with Psycho in it, so that can all figure out. But she, in an act of defiance, drops the orb. So guess what? Now Psycho has his plan thwarted by this woman. Cool. You're slowly building up to stuff happening with her. I think that's kind of cool. And as that's going on, we see Psycho is in his office, and there's two people behind this door. Or are they on a monitor? It might be a monitor now that I look at it. That's it could be ambiguous, like a screen or a window outside somewhere. These people are like, this wasn't part of the plan, Edgar. What are you doing? This isn't going to work. You are not going to use our funds for this, you son of a bitch. He's like, I'll do what I want. My name is Cisco. Don't call me Edgar, you piece of shit, or Dr. Psycho. I love it. It's great. That's how you use the character. You cannot read this book anymore without reading it in Tony Hale's voice. It's amazing. Back in the fight, Dolos kind of has Wonder Woman defeated. He's like, how would you prefer to die? What if I was Steve? Would you rather submit to Steve? Or what about the Viking? I heard you two had quite the time in Asgard. She's like, oh, shut up. And just knocks him clean. Almost gets the win on him, too. Pretty fun stuff. Cleans up pretty good. She won the day against Dolos. The men are saved. Back in the area, we see that Professor Calculus has Etta tied up. And Dr. Poison has Steve and Ziggy. And you're like, ooh boy, they're going to do some stuff with those two, aren't they? Yes, they are, my friends. That is what they are going to do with them. And yeah, it's a simple book. That's all that pretty much happens. It does flow pretty fast. It's just a bit of an action sequence, and that's kind of cool. I do like the colors on this book. Every character does look unique and stylized in their own way. I think that's pretty exciting. Everything about this issue, it's fun. I like where the story is going. It's doing something cool, Psycho. Wonder Woman is going to have to save her friend, and that's going to be a compelling story to see. I hope it works out okay. If not, I understand that this book could fall flat easily. And it's this thing, too. I talked about this last issue. I want to bring it up again. This is a very political book. Like, it's saying very political stuff, but I don't think it's getting the attention that something like Superman Son of Kal-El is getting, because maybe the numbers aren't as good. But the numbers aren't bad because this has some pretty high preview sales. I'm like, okay, interesting. So I wonder why people are accepting of this. Maybe because Wonder Woman is an intrinsically political character with some BDSM bondage ties to. Maybe that's the reason why this book gets the leeway, but I don't know. Interesting. You could definitely put Psycho in the position of somebody in the real world and probably get the same book happening. So very fascinating. I am liking this book and this issue. It's very breezy, but very fun. So Wonder Woman 789. I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.